Hello and welcome to this best of 3 series between Opalbearblack and Maximillionare. Also, it's currently 1-1 in the series in Warhammer League 3. This is their first round, so be sure to like and subscribe for more games and let's get into it. So, it's gonna be Norsca versus Undead versus Vampire Counts in this one. And we have Manfred Boldstein here too, which is pretty cool. And we see also a freaking giant from the side of Opal. Opal really does like his giants. Also, a big thank you to Adam, who basically told me that if I get rid of the debug camera, then I can actually have a normal camera smoothing experience. So, sorry about the jankiness for now. I will try to not forget and disable debug camera every time I'm casting. So, when it comes to both armies, we have a bunch of javelins, basically similar to the first game that we saw, a bunch of Marauder Bearmen, a bunch of Marauder Skirmishers, and this time instead of Sail, he just brought a Plate of Rust and Final Transmutation, which makes sense. A Plague of Rust is basically for killing the Cav, if there are any, and then Giant for bonking big things. Alongside the other way that we have is a bunch of just horsemen. We also have Manfred von Boldstein on a pretty expensive kit, like he brought 4 spells alongside 2 of the passives, so he's pretty decked out. And we also see basically the White Kings escorting him here in the game with their scab scripts, so that all makes sense. From the side of the actual army, we see just a bunch of skeleton warriors and a bunch of zombos, a double corpse cart, and then a crypt horror, and then a crypt ghoul going sneakily to the other objective, actually. So, a big thing here that we see a lack of from the side of Maximillionaire is potentially just having some Graveguard, but I don't know how Graveguard, let's say, trade into Marauder Berserkers and Marauder Bearmen. I would assume they're good, but yeah, I would say that like a bunch of Graveguard, or he's going for like the Crypt Horror on top of like zombies and skeletons type of deal. But the problem with that is javelins, man. Javelins wreck horrors, and berserkers wreck zombies and other types of skeletons. So this is going to be a really technical game of who dips and who dives at what point for it to be totally worth it, right? We also see a crypt ghoul and a skeleton spear to the side, so zombies basically capturing objectives, and that all makes sense. If Opal gets a bunch of the proper javelin fire into the crypt horrors, this can, I think, be very beneficial for him. But for the side of Max, he's very nicely going to put pressure on him by trying to ninja, and now all of the undead are on the point, and this is what the undead want, right? And he's also staggering his unholy lodestones so that not both of them get caught properly. Ooh, this is very unfortunate. Manfred getting bullied by a giant, though. Man, that zoom out is very fast. But if there is a... Oh my god, what a overcasted death. Oh, they're countering each other with heavy magic damage, man. But I don't know if it was a better cast to potentially cast the Wind of Death from alongside all of the Bearmen here, right? Because if the front line dies, then the back line doesn't matter, right? You can like have these guys go around and try to skirmish each other for the rest of the game and it won't matter. But them leaving up a bunch of the berserkers and a bunch of the bearmen, compared to just killing one of the javelins and then something else, ooh, I'm not sure which would have been better. Honestly, it might just depend on the game itself. But the giant is doing great work. Like, he's fighting the White Kings, that overcast Final Transmutation, basically tabling the entire force. And this looks like a very strong fight from the side of Opal here. He's basically just surrounding now the rest of the army, because this is just skeletons and this is just zombies, right? Even if Max actually went for a Wind of Death through his own line, I feel like that would have been great in this circumstance, because you don't care about your zombies, and killing stuff like berserkers and the Marauder Bearmen And then just walking your skeletons into stuff like javelins would be very, very prudent. But it seems like, yeah, this time it's very, very difficult for him to get here. So he's just summoning in and actually backing off with most of his units, right? Because he knows that if he stays in the blob fight, he's gonna lose. And it was very unfortunate for him to get the final transmutation off like that. Also, Manfred being this low makes it so that you're kind of afraid of going fully in, right? Because you don't want to be surrounded and potentially killed, or potentially just another overcasted final trans, basically being the end of both Manfred and the two units. Also, Berserkers basically carrying the side here, chasing down the poor Crypt Ghouls, those Smeagol's, and now it's just a slugfest between the Marauders and a bunch of the skeleton warriors. So this is not going to go very well for them, even with the support of a corpse cart. These guys, even though they're very tired, they're absolutely terminating the source code of these guys. Like, look at this. Basically, the Berserk is overflowing, and they even popped the full Berserk, so they're going to basically rampage now and go in and kill everything there. On the other side of the map, we basically had Dire Pack, but Dire Pack gets caught out trying to chase down the horsemen with some Norscan ice wolves. And when we're going back over here, it is an overcast or undercast final transmutation, technically. But yeah. Ooh, very nice thing that he brought out is the Mortis engine. But the problem is there's not going to be a blob fight anymore, right? Mortis engine going in, trying to get into stuff like the Berserkers is nice, but look at this giant just clubbing the hell out of this corpse cart, man. He's just having the best day of his life. He's just clapping. And he then sees basically a White King and goes in, and I'm like, gonna collapse some more. So he's not gonna die. He has 13k HP. He's totally fine. And everything is just running away from the Mortis engine. Very nice charge, I guess, from the Mortis engine into the dogs here. But they're going to be surrounded and then focused fired. This is going... Oh my god, look at the damage. That's just one volley of like the horsemen and or the javelins here. Very, very unfortunate. And there's now nothing that is going to hold the front line of Max forward. He also has a freaking Berserker on the side, just warding off any sort of Crypt Ghoul management for that. So very nicely played. Also Giant, great pick. Like, Opal really likes his Giants, and man, does he make them work in some matchups where you just don't expect it to be like this. Look at this Giant, like having the best day of his life, just clapping the corpse cart, and then another corpse cart. Like, this one goes out of range. He's like, okay, I got another one in me. Other than that, Crypt Horror is basically unsupported. He even forgot about his Beasts of Tashnar, moving his Lord back for some reason, probably a misclick, or just making 100% sure that he just doesn't get sniped now, that he doesn't have any more magic. And he's just gonna keep surrounding the opponent, right? They're not even fighting on the objectives, which is like a huge thing. Whenever you're undead, random tip. So whenever you're undead, and you actually want to engage a huge blob fight, first you gotta check if the opponent has final transmutation, so you gotta split a bit. Second, you want to fight on an objective, right? So this takes a lot of time. Most of the time, how you look at undead factions, specifically vampire counts, is you're trying to body check or DPS check, better word for it, your opponent, right? Like, do they have enough DPS to overthrow me? Or are they going to lose on points when it comes to that? Or do they have something specific like counter, like magic damage, because they need to counter the specific magic damage from Cairn rates and hex rates and stuff like that. So it is kind of a dance of, if you go too tall, I can chase you down and bog you down with crypt ghouls and just zombies and stuff. Or otherwise, I'm going to try and DPS check you to see if you can actually go through stuff like the unholy lodestones and be able to actually win in this fight at all. But yeah, it seems like in this game specifically, Opal did properly DPS check and also break through the specific points from Max's side. So it seems just like a very slow grind to towards the end, especially with this flank coming in. That just is gonna get rid of the corpse cart here. And where is the Mortis engine? Is this the Mortis engine? No. Did it already die? I guess the freaking giant earning 2 chevrons, just about 3, is probably him killing also the main carry piece, which is the Mortis engine. Also, everything here is dead. They're gonna start back charging here. Crypt Ghoul, White King is basically also dead. Crypt Horrors just going in, fighting Skin Wolves, which is very unfortunate. Zombies supporting, but they're just about to crumble. And it seems like it's quite a bit over for our side of the Undead, right? They're just going to keep summoning in some Smeagol's, trying to go for a side objective cap, but it is definitely not going to be very close when it comes to that. I think this game was basically played on a previous version of the patch, so don't mind the specifics of the supplies. That thing is not accurate in this game, but yeah, it definitely looks quite a bit over for our zombie player here. Just getting in the Beast of Tashnar, which is nice. A bit of a blob fight here, but it doesn't matter. It's still Berserkers. Berserkers will eat Crypt Ghouls for breakfast, and it seems to be a tap out from the side of Max. So, very nice comeback from Opal. He lost his first Norscan game into Lizardmen and then came back with the double game back-to-back wins. Also, look at this beautiful value. Like, he probably got most of his value just from that first overcast, right? And just got both Manfred, the double White King, both Crypt Horrors, which were summoned, and both Corpse Carts in that just one blob. Also, when it comes to Javelins, as always, they pay for themselves and a bit more. Very nice stuff from both the Berserkers. Even the Bearmen got a bit of value. And then Berserkers going in 1,000 approximately for most of them. And yeah, very well played to the side of Opal. Manfred just didn't get enough done. Like, he is quite expensive with the amount that Max brought him on. And I don't know. I am not 100% sure. Maybe you guys can comment or speculate too. If Manfred actually casted that Wind of Death to the front line instead of the back line. I know it's very annoying to get rid of a lot of the shooting there, but I feel like basically crumbling down the front line so that your zombies can start chasing down javelins and horsemen is more prudent than fighting the bearmen infinitely. Mortis Engine just got 800 value, very unfortunate, and yeah. Oh, we had the 2 Blood Knight Lances, but they never got out, which kind of makes sense. He just didn't have the time to actually bring them out, and after that first final transmutation, it was very difficult for him to come back. Very well played to the series, and I'll see you in the next series of Warhammer League 3.